My team and I are investigating the Skirrid Inn in the south of Wales. Our first investigation did not disappoint, and the location is fast living up to its haunting reputation. The many spirits who roam this inn made themselves known to us, from witnessing the shadow figures on the staircase said to be the judge and executioner, to capturing strange light anomalies on both our thermal and night vision cameras. We even recorded full sentence EVPs and heard numerous disembodied voices. The team were woken up in the early hours of the morning by the sound of phantom footsteps and our bedroom door handles rattling. It's becoming very clear that there is some truth to the countless reports of paranormal activity.
And what it was, she was in the bath and felt pressure keeping her under the water.
I heard a male voice behind us.
So, what the hell was the light that we just saw in that mirror? Oh, damn.
Oh, my neck.
I can do that.
It's the same voice.
It's the same voice. Watch there. There it is. It's like somebody that walks past.
And as clear as day, I saw a gentleman in a tri-cornered hat.
I am so aggressive right now. I just need to try and calm my temper down. It was just a really quick shadow that passed in front of this door.
I feel really bizarre at the moment.
Allegedly, 180 plus hangings took place on this ground. There's got to be something.
I'm quite apprehensive about what's going to happen because of what happened in my past.
That was very clear get out.
She saw a shadow pass across the bathroom door.
Take a seat next to MJ.
Excuse me?
The table moved.
I've been back a few times and I can't get enough of this place.
I am ice cold, literally ice cold. That is my name.
Well, that wasn't terrifying at all.
After a long day of reviewing footage and continuing our research, we decided on a plan for our second investigation of the inn.
As I'm not a psychic medium, I mainly go towards the equipment side because it helps me to document anything that happens in investigation. After hearing about people's experiences in the past, I was excited to get in there for myself, use the equipment and see if we can document exactly what is going on in the place. My first investigation here, I ended up getting more than I bargained for. There was another colleague sat near the door. I focused the thermal imaging camera at the bathroom. All of a sudden, we seemed to see a black, cold shape appearing in the doorway on the thermal imaging camera. After a little while, it seemed to get bigger and bigger, and then it materialised into a figure. It climbed creepily over the banister and slid behind the door jamb. After a little while, the hands then sort of appeared. You could see them black, cold on the screen of the thermal imaging camera. It then slid onto the floor and moved creepily towards us. I was gobsmacked. I didn't know what to actually feel or react to. It put its hand on the footstool where my colleague was sitting. Once it removed it, you could see a black, cold handprint. After that, we just panicked. We went for the lights, expecting to see this figure sat in front of us. But when the lights came on, there was nothing there. We tried everything to recreate it. We got a colleague to stand in the bathroom in the position that the figure appeared on the screen. The strange thing is, the figure would have had to have been 8 foot tall to look over the banister the way it is. Our colleague just couldn't match it on the screen. Because of the feelings I was experiencing, I had to take a moment and leave the location just to pull myself together before going back in. As an investigator, we try and rule out all possible natural occurrences of why we're capturing anything on camera or with any bit of equipment. That's why we do the recreations, just to see if it's a natural phenomena. With the next 5 days ahead of staying here at the Skirrid Inn, I'm quite apprehensive about what's going to happen because of what happened in my past investigations. But I need to push myself more to get into the location, use some of the equipment to document what is going on. The rest of the team are really excited to be going back into the Skirrid Inn. I'm slightly nervous because of my experiences. Let's see what happens.
For the last 20 years, I've been exploring the paranormal and been really lucky to travel to various places across the UK and abroad as well. Some of these include the Skirrid Inn, where I came here for the first time 3 years ago. I've been back a few times and I can't get enough of this place. I've experienced various things here, like EVPs in the bedrooms. As a member of the team, I'm normally behind the camera documenting the evidence, so it's going to be interesting for myself to see what we capture, making sure we document everything. The Skirrid Inn is known for its tech malfunctions, EVP recordings suddenly disappearing, equipment malfunctioning, draining the power that it's got. So my role will be making sure that we've got documentation of anything that's captured, making sure we've got the backups of that. So when everyone goes to sleep at the end of the investigation each night, I'll still be up making those backups, making sure I've got a second copy somewhere so that if something happens to one of the digital recorders, at least we've got it on video, at least we've got a backup somewhere. We know what this place is like and we're going to make sure we can document what we can. To me, personally, I've stayed here a couple of times and I've not had any experiences during the night compared to other investigators that I've talked to, but this week could be that week. So the bathroom was used as the prison cell before the prisoners were brought before the judge. This room and the room next door was the whole courtroom. They wasn't two separate rooms. During the week, we're going to be using CCTV cameras to document while we're sleeping. They're going to be one on each of us as we sleep to see if anything happens to us. We're going to use static cameras around the pub to see while we're investigating upstairs, is something happening downstairs, and vice versa. If we're downstairs in the bar area, is something happening in one of the bedrooms. Ultimately, everything that the team capture needs to be documented. I'm going to be following the team very closely, behind the camera, making sure we capture everything. We've got those backups.
We caught up with our friend and fellow paranormal investigator, Victoria Wells, who joined me on an investigation of the Skirrid Inn several years ago.
So
Yeah.
what happened? Talk us through about what happened when you visited.
The investigation proper actually started at about midnight, and things happened actually pretty much straight away. MJ, I don't know whether you remember, but you started getting a burning sensation pretty soon after we got started.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that we had the portal on, and it said something along the lines of "You have been warned," and it said something like "witch." And
Yes.
then I had my hands full of equipment and my arm started burning really badly. And I was like, somebody just check what's going on.
That's right. So
yeah,
it was
pretty
pretty
intense.
straight away. And that witch theme continued throughout most of the night, actually. We got a lot of responses.
So what other stuff did you experience? Like, what are the things that stood out for you during the Skirrid investigation?
We were sitting around and the REM pods have been quite active all night. We'd had them placed around the place. And actually, one of my fellow investigators, she saw a shadow pass across the bathroom door. But that was quite a clear shadow. She was able to describe it and the motion of it and the size of it. So yes, that was quite a moment. I think because we were such a small group and we stayed together, wherever we were, there was something going on.
So what was something else that stood out to you during the evening? What other experiments? Because I know we did a lot. We did a hell of a lot of experiments.
We did, and I must admit, one of the ones that stands out to me is something we do quite regularly when we're investigating with you, MJ. It's a fantastic experiment involving a Ouija board and EVP recorders. And what you've taught us to do is actually ask whoever is communicating with us to communicate through both. So whilst they're using the planchette to spell out words, they're also spelling out the words or saying the words they're trying to communicate on the EVP recorders. And we actually captured some of this that night in room 1 at Skirrid Inn. We were asking the question, what do you want? Do you know me? And the planchette would move to an answer. I mean, certainly on the do you know me, it went to no, but then it started to spell something out, and we got an E and a D. And then at the same time, when we listened back, we had the name Ed. And we had Ed a couple of times. So Ed was there. So that was amazing to hear the EVP correspond with the planchette moving and to get that corroboration. Yeah, that was great. That was another great experiment that night.
You've just reminded me that there was actually somebody there on the investigation that night who brought an artifact with her. She brought an item that belonged to somebody else, and it's only just clicked. I've only just put 2 and 2 together. The item that she brought with her was a rosary that belonged to Ed Warren.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
I've actually got chills. I actually have chills. I've just put that together. The rosary that she had with her and the wristwatch that she had with her belonged to Ed Warren.
Yeah.
What are your final thoughts? Like, what do you think of the Skirrid, and who do you think's haunting it?
Wow. There's a lot of energy there, and I think there's a lot of old energy there. The land is old, the stories are old, but the whole place, the scenery, the setting, it's just something out of this world.
With our plan in place, we're ready to start setting up the equipment for our second investigation, the lone vigils.
It's lone vigil night. Tonight I'm going to be spending some time in the creepy bathroom in room 1 on my own. And this is the location where a lady got held down underwater and almost drowned. She had a very terrifying experience. So I'm going to be asking some questions about that. Also, this is the same place where MJ and Carl got a figure mapped out on the thermal imaging camera, and that was pretty terrifying for them too. So that's where I'm going to be staying tonight. I'm going to be taking some photos using the full spectrum camera, and also doing some EVPs to see if I can get any responses.
Tonight is the second investigation of the 4 that we're doing here at the Skirrid Inn, and it's lone vigil night. I'm going to be spending time in the bar area doing a bit of a music experiment. Live music brings everybody together. My idea is to place REM pods on each of the bar tables, and I'm hoping that if I interact with them and say, if you could, instead of giving me a round of applause, set off some of the REM pods, I'm hoping somebody will interact and enjoy the music. I'm just going to sing them a song or 2, and perhaps do some EVP as well.
It's the time of the week which we all look forward to, the lone vigil investigation. This evening I will be placed in the condemned men's cell. A little bit apprehensive because this is a place where people used to be held before they walked out to be hung. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be trying to do some experiments with REM pods, millimeters and the ovilus. So hopefully I'll be able to capture the last words before they went out to be hung.
For my lone vigil tonight, I'm going to spend time in the dining room. There's been reports from people of furniture moving, as well as the cutlery on top of the table as well. I've seen there's some articles like wage bills on the wall, so I want to put a REM pod on top of that and see if I can get some interaction with the use of documentation.
With Carl set up inside the prisoner cell, it's time to set Alex up for his solo investigation of the downstairs restaurant area. While the guys investigate, Corin and I will quietly record some more audio. So, Carl.
Yeah.
Lone vigil, prisoner cell.
Yeah, condemned cell. See if I can communicate with people that basically spent their last moments of their life in there before they were walked out and down the long drop. So this we found earlier is an old wage slip of someone who used to work here, I believe. So I'm going to use that as a trigger. Just over here we have a REM pod which puts out its own magnetic field. So if anything goes anywhere near it and breaks the field, the alarm will go off. And what I'm going to be using, I'm going to be testing an app which is a electronic spirit box. So unlike the traditional spirit boxes where you get the white noise and hopefully we'll get something talking over the white noise, this is more like a portal where they've cut out the white noise but you've still got all the functionality of an original spirit box. So I'm in the dining room where there's been a lot of reports of like the furniture moving around. If you're the person that moves that furniture, could you do that for me? Could you move the furniture for me? Maybe move one of the knives on the table. Can you make a noise and show me that you're here? Tap on the wall, let me hear your footsteps come up the stairs towards me. I'm in the cell. Is the jailer here? I've just had a real cold breeze going down the back of my neck on this side. If that was you stepping close, can you do that again for me, please? Or even if you're the person who wage slip it is on the table over here, if you could go up to the device that's sitting on top of your wage slip, why not reach out and try and pick up your wage slip and they'll know that you're there. So as I ask, I'm just getting a recorder out of my pocket, which is here, to the person whose wage slip it is on this table in front of me. Can you tell me how much you earned? How much were you paid, and was it a good wage? Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just try this app out and see if we can get anything coming through on this. Okay, this is the strange thing about this app. A couple of the female voices that are coming through. I don't know whether it's my hearing, but it does sound like it's mimicking MJ's voice. But when we review it, we can then look at that again. So just listening back. So, this is currently the restaurant of the pub. How much you earned? How much were you paid, and was it a good wage? Yeah, nothing really coming through. So this is the second recording in the dining room. I'm currently standing next to the wage slip with the REM pod. So, is it payday? Is it a day that you come and collect your wages? Here's your wage slip, why don't you come and get it? Just had that cold feeling on the back of my neck again. Hello? Were you trying to say hello to me? Just had that cold feeling on the back of my neck again. Hello? What's behind? What's behind? Are you behind me? I don't know what's going on, but I'm feeling a little bit of anxious now. I'm sort of like a little bit of difficulty, not difficulty breathing, but it's a little bit of a laboured. My breath is a little bit laboured.
Carl receives several responses through the app, which suggests he is not alone in the small cell.
Fanny Price, if you're here, are you able to make a sound on one of the tables with the knife or forks? It does seem rather quiet, I think is the best word to put. Yeah, nothing on there.
Yeah, it's an old building. It makes some weird noises at night, but I can't. There's nothing that I've heard that I could put down to anything other than natural environment of an old building.
So I've been down here quite a while. Hopefully they'll remember that I'm down here and come and get me.
Okay, sounds like somebody's coming to get me.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you doing?
All right, bit quiet. There's been some funny noises, but I can probably put them down to an old building cooling down.
Okay.
A couple of the voices that came through sounded like you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mimicking your voice.
Something just...
As I'm leaning into the cell talking to Carl, I feel a hand go up the back of my leg and a strange static sensation followed.
The moment you said that.
Do you want to stay in here?
Let's see. And this looks like someone's coming to get me, or there's a shadow at the door, but I think it's Corin. It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Not done.
I'm done. Okay.
How is it?
Quiet. No, it's been really quiet. I've done a few EVPs, nothing really on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the REM pod didn't go off.
Okay.
I'm going to hand you this recorder call. You can ask a few questions, and then we're just going to figure out who, what, where, why, how.
Yeah.
So cool.
Could you tell me whereabouts you touched this lady that stood in the doorway, please? Could you tell me the reason you touched this lady?
Whoa. I am ice cold, literally ice cold.
That says my name.
He survived.
He survived?
Yes.
Awesome. Anything happen?
No.
Nothing on the RAM, nothing at all?
Nothing in the room.
Well, let's go and get us ladies set up.
Yes.
Yep.
Carl, are you okay?
Yeah. Just came back in room 2 after the lone vigils. I was stood by the doorway and I just felt like I got really, really hot. And then I started to feel sick and I literally I threw my equipment onto the bed, went in the bathroom and it felt like I was going to throw up. And I just feel a little bit out of it at the moment.
Yeah, you don't look very good, mate. Do you want to we're going to do our loans, so
Yeah.
stay in here, get some rest,
Yeah.
and then let me know if anything changes, if you...
Yeah, it was just like, it sort of all of a sudden came across me.
Well, okay, listen, I'm going to leave you be,
Okay.
get some rest. I'll stick the light on here,
Yeah.
just so you can chill out a bit, and then...
Okay, just be careful on your loans.
Yeah.
Because if this place could be changing, particularly what we had last night in here, with the feeling of being
Really angry.
angry.
As Carl is explaining that he is feeling unwell, the strange light anomaly shoots down and disappears into his head. Yeah. All right, it makes me a bit nervous for my loan now.
Yeah, just have your wits about you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think, again, particularly in the cell, you can often go in there happy, whistling, top form. You're in there for no reason at all. You come out and you feel, oh, what a terrible life this is. You know, you feel sick, you want to cry. It just changes your whole demeanour. But that cell, spend 5 minutes in there and it's awful.
With Carl out of action for a while, and Alex helping us set up for our lone vigils, it was time for Corin to spend time in the creepy bathroom of room 1 as I head downstairs to the bar area.
You ready for your lone vigil?
Yes.
So you're in the bathroom.
Yeah, this is where someone nearly drowned.
Okay.
Like, by force. Right in that bath, just there. I've actually had a bath in there, and at the time I didn't know about that. Otherwise I wouldn't have had one. But yes, this is where I'm going to be.
Okay.
Wish me luck. Yep.
I'll shut the door.
Okay, thank
And
you.
if you scream, we'll come running.
Okay, thank you. What I'm going to do is take some instant photos.
I am going to need a little bit of light on to be able to play guitar because it was pitch black. Then I'm not going to be able to do anything. So we'll just leave. I might try and stoke that fire real quick or something. What was that?
That almost sounded like the bell kind of area.
That was the bell. Grab a camera.
I feel it.
Who was that? Can you do that again? What did you just move? Alex and I hear something moving in the bar, and this really catches us off guard. This is something we're going to need to try and debunk. So I'm going to set up a few REM pods on each table. We're all good. What the hell?
Straight away.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, guys.
So if you just stand in front of me and just smile. I'm going to take 2 more just to see if there's any differences. So just stand in front of me. Taken some instant photos to see if I can catch anything. I've directed it to the place where Carl caught that heat signature on his thermal imaging camera. So hopefully we've got something, but they're developing as well at the moment. EVP lone vigil in the creepy bathroom in room 1. I know a lot of people have had some quite terrifying experiences in here. So I'm just wondering if that is anything to do with whoever is in this room with me right now.
Alone with you, lights down low. Moments with you, as feelings start to show. Running your fingers down my spine.
Could you tell me your name? Were you standing in front of me when I took some photos of you just then? I'll play that back.
Rolling on recorder 1. So these can hear your voice. Anyone that's here with me? What did you think of that? Why don't you have a seat at that table?
EVP lone vigil in the creepy bathroom in room 1. So I'm just wondering if that is anything to do with whoever is in this room with me right now.
That was very clear get out. That was very clear get out.
Can you tell me your name? I'll play that back.
Well, that wasn't terrifying at all.
I'm just going to do a quick playback just on the DR60 for now.
Rolling on recorder 1 for lone vigil. Can you let me know if you enjoyed that? If you did, I'll play you another song, but you have to tell me if you enjoyed it.
I feel like I can hear footsteps in the restaurant. So let's play another song for you guys. Is anyone here with me? Can you light up one of these REM pods to let me know, please? You just have to go near the antenna.
I'm going to ask some more questions, okay? I mean, no disrespect. Was it yourself that we saw earlier? Are you actually aware of us? Oh, my heart is racing so much right now. It's really bizarre.
It's all you, all you. The comfort in my world.
Was it yourself that we saw earlier?
I'm going to play that again.
Hello?
Someone's not very happy with me.
No.
Come down.
Are you actually aware of that? My heart is racing so much right now. It's really fast.
Like my heart was racing at that exact time where, I mean, something must have come up to me and gone, get out, or said something.
You feel panicking.
And there's a very clear get out in the one before as well.
So, have you checked your photos?
No, I have not. Doesn't seem to be anything so far.
Okay.
No.
Why can't you just stop playing pretend? 'Cause there's certain things, babe, just can't end yet. How about that? Do you like the sound of that? I can't seem to. Oh my good lord, you gave me a heart attack. Let's sneak up on me during a lone vigil, Alex. Holy crap. Well, that was about the most exciting thing that happened. Okay, well, nothing really happened. No, I mean, a little bit of REM activity when we were setting up in here, but other than, I thought I heard some really strange footsteps coming from the restaurant area, but then I didn't know if one of you moved upstairs. Because of the acoustics of this building,
Yeah.
it could very well have been one of you guys. They didn't even want to talk to me on EVP. I think my singing scared them away, to be fair. Pretty sure my singing scared them away. All right, I'm done. That's my gig. Thank you very much.
With all 4 lone vigils now complete, the team and I decided that we would spend some time in the bar where Alex and I heard some movement.
Just keeping an eye. If that moves, it's going to track motion. So hopefully we'll see something.
You can take the seat next to MJ.
What happened?
Table moved.
Excuse me?
The table moved. You know how difficult these are to move?
Yeah.
This moved.
Okay. You can take a seat next to MJ.
The table moving in the bar caught us all by surprise. We couldn't be sure if maybe Carl was leaning on the table at the time, as the bar area was pitch black. This was something that we would need to review. What we found strange was just after the table moves, you can see the chair pull out slightly away from the table.
Can you tell that recorder over there? The person that just moved that table, could you say so in that recorder, please?
Want to have a look? You're going to stand here, and you can have a look at this as well. What do you think about being here for a few days?
It's like, I won't, or...
Feel like you'd like to see what we're doing. Do you feel being a lot of recreation? Have we got them right? That's the thing.
That sounded like help me.
Just like to see what we're doing. Yeah.
Does it I'm here?
Excuse me?
Over us.
Yeah.
There. Got it? Yeah. Literally can't see anything. When you've been staring at the screen, hi.
Hi. Not me, I've got nothing on me. No, I've got nothing on me. Apart from the knife.
Do you like Corin? Somebody new?
Hi, my name is Corin. It's lovely to meet you. What is your name?
Okay.
What did that just say?
I obviously responding to the same sort of question that Corin's just asked, and you introduced yourself and then you asked, who are you? I then basically said, who are you? And it says Larry talking. Do you want to film over here? Larry talking. I went, do you want a drink? And it only responded one word and went double.
Oh. Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Let's ask more questions.
Definitely keep along those lines.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything you'd like to say to me?
Go home.
Oh, I'll turn over you very quickly.
Well, I asked a similar question to what you just asked, what type of double, and I also ended it with, do you want a cigarette with your drink? And the response was, much spirits.
So somebody's a little bit of a boozer.
And obviously wants a cigarette very much.
Yeah.
What was that bit at the end?
That sounded like go home.
After receiving this EVP saying go home, the entire location went flat. We recorded no further activity and decided to call it a night.
We just completed the lone vigils. My lone vigil was in the condemned man's cell. The atmosphere in there at first was quite oppressive and quite heavy. I don't know what's going on, but I'm feeling a little bit of anxious now. Sort of like my breath is a little bit laboured. But I put that down to knowing that this was the last location the people who were in there saw until they went out and were hung. I tried a few experiments with the REM pod, the Ovilus and the Mel meter, but nothing really happened on that. I did also do a test run on a new digital app where halfway through the lone vigil, it seemed like MJ's voice came through. It definitely had a South African twang to it. And I had to point that out when MJ came and released me from my lone vigil because it sounded like her voice. A couple of the voices that came through sounded like you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mimicking your voice.
Something just...
I can't understand it. I just need to really play around with this new app again.
My lone vigil this evening was in the downstairs bar area. I decided to play some music and see if I got any interaction on any of the REM pods on the tables. When we were setting up, the REM pods did go off. Okay, guys. It was the only time they went off throughout the entire lone vigil. I tried to do a few burst EVP sessions, but didn't really come up with anything. The one thing that kind of stood out was the fact that I heard footsteps, what sounded like it was coming from the restaurant area. But I can't be sure that somebody didn't perhaps walk upstairs, and with the acoustics of the building, it may very well have echoed downstairs and sounded as though it was coming from the restaurant. I still can't be sure, but overall it was pretty quiet.
I think the thing that stood out to me the most over tonight's investigation was the table moving in the bar, and then following that with the chair moving. This is definitely something that we have to review.
My lone vigil was based in the dining room downstairs. I tried some experiments with using documentation that was for people that worked at the Skirrid to see if they would come and interact with myself. Unfortunately, nothing came through. I did some EVP work as well, and again, nothing really came through. It was very calm.
I got a few responses on EVP, a lot of them telling me to get out. That was very clear, get out, which is quite common in that area. I also took some photos using a full spectrum camera to see if there's anything there working at a different light frequency. Unfortunately, nothing was captured on that, but it was still an awesome lone vigil.
Tonight, the team experienced everything from phantom footsteps to furniture moving, being physically touched and affected. We made contact with a spirit who seemed to enjoy a drink in the pub. There are so many layers to the history of the Skirrid Inn that we're starting to wonder if a week is enough. We're not even scratching the surface.